We hope that you find this demonstration of how to use the Grandstand standing frame helpful.
The first thing we do is to improve the wheelchair access into the frame by adjusting both the outriggers. Right. The next thing is to put the seat belt on. This is the crucial piece of equipment that if it's malplaced, if it's not put in the right place symmetrically, then you will not get a good stand. And we're looking for the top part of the seat sling to be about waist height, and for the bottom part just to cut the lower end of the buttock. We're also looking at this seam here to be somewhere over the hip joint. We also ask for it to be symmetrical, so we don't want any presentation like that, as that will give a poor stand. To help the client get into the sling, we would ask them to tilt as far forward. Fortunately, Ronald can do it himself, but for many clients they need to be encouraged to go right forward, as in spinal patients. You present the seat sling, a red strap either side, and you just tuck it under the buttock. I've got my hand in the front supporting Ronald so he doesn't fall out of the chair. Right. Then you lean the client back, you go round to the front, and what you're looking for, and just move your arm, thank you, is to bring the top belt through, the one with the silver buckle, bring that through and put it on the lap, either side. And then you just need to go in there and find those red straps. The red straps never attach to the frame, they're just for helping you locate the belt. So bring them through either side. Okay. And then from the front, use your legs to block your client's legs, so he's not going to move forward, or she's not going to move forward. And then you slide the sling along the top of the seat. Do not pull it up, because that will cause problems against the skin. Put it along the top of the seat. Right. To make sure it's symmetrical, put your hands to those seals that I showed you earlier, and just check where your elbows come on your client's knee. If they're symmetrical, then you know you've got it in symmetrically. And again with the belt. If they're in the same position on the seat, then you know that that's symmetrical. To lean your client forward, keeping your hand here just to make sure he's not going to fall out, and it reassures him. You're putting a silver ring to the front, a red strap to the side, and then just literally tucking it under the buttock each side. Then you move the client's arm out of the way. You put the silver ring belt to the front. You find out where the red strap is. It's got a loop to assist you in pulling it through. Block with your knee. That's in position then. And we'll do the other side. Do not fall over the chair.
I'll try not to.
If we put your arm up there, and to check it's in a good position, you put your finger to the back of this seam here, and on that seam at the other side, and then take your elbows down to the client's knees, and if they're symmetrical then you know you've got the belt in. If it was like that, then you know it's asymmetrical. You want it symmetrical. The other thing to check is using the seam on this red belt. Check that they're in the same position either side of the client. The next thing is to get the feet ready. You ask the client to come in as near as possible, but allowing you to still remove the feet plates. So could you come in a bit closer, Ronald? You can either get the, stop there please, you can either get the client to drive in, wheel themselves in, or you push them in, or you can bring the frame to them. But you need to be able to get the foot plates out of the way. This wheelchair, they tip up out of the way really easily. Others you have to swing them out of the way. Okay, carry on the journey please, Ronald. And try to drive in as straight as possible. You can just alter the frame right at the last moment. Keep driving. If you place your client's feet on the back of the foot cups, then that will keep the toes pointing down and they won't bang themselves on this piece of metal. That's important. Right, keep driving in please. And then we're going to put the foot straps on. This prevents any movement of the foot whilst you're waiting to stand the client. Not necessary in all cases. We ask the client which side is his weakest, and you take the foot switch around to that side so that you've got full control of the lift with your foot operating the pedal, but you've also got both hands free to support the client and possibly raise an arm if they cannot do that. Okay, so you're ready to go. Bring the frame in to meet the client. Right, so once you've got the frame in the right position, so you really want to get it as straight as possible to the client. Then, and you measure the knees away from the knee pad by placing your hands down. And if they're about the same distance away, you know again that's another mark of symmetry. So then you put the brakes on the frame. Also a good idea to put the brake on the wheelchair. So we're going to now may I just take the control away?
Yes.
Right. You bring the silver ring towards the arms and you put it onto the slot allocated for that client. For this gentleman, Ronald, it's the second slot. So you introduce it by putting it on like that. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. We're now ready to stand. So, Ronald, you're going to stand now. It's going to take you, fully support you. No, you don't have to do anything. If you'd like to put your hand up there to support you, you may do, if you feel safer. But in clients that can't raise their arms, you just take the arm down. Thank you. The best way to do it is to take the arm, rest it on your forearm, and that still gives you the ability to put your palm on the chest. Make sure you don't bring the hand up too near to the throat because that can give a sort of throttling effect. And your hand at the back is just supporting the back. Just bring them forward into a slight sit position and then we're going to go up. So ready for takeoff? Okay, a few inches off the seat, just check the position of the belt. So you're looking for that to be about waist height and this to just to be under the buttock. If it's too high, just try and ease it down or go back down and reposition. Continuing to go up. And lean back as you encourage the client to lean back as they go to the full stand position. So lean back. Sometimes these pads get in the way, so you just have to encourage them out of the way. That's really good. Are you okay?
Yes, thank you.
Not too squashed?
What's that like being up there? Does that
It's
feel
very
good?
nice to be able to stand after
Oh.
all that sitting.
Yes. Is it nice being on a level with people?
Oh yes.
Mm. Good.
Same height.
Lovely.
Then the final piece of the equipment is the back security belt. It just gives that extra safety fitment. Assures that Ronald's not going to go anywhere. And it's important that you remember that you have to take this off first before you start any part of the descent process. Right. When you've got the client into a good position, then you can put the foot switch back into the holder, making sure that the blade of the foot switch holder goes between the two pedals. If you did that, then there's a likelihood that somebody could just accidentally press it and then you'd make the client come down. The reason for putting it on here while the client is standing is while you're walking around or anybody's doing anything, you're not going to inadvertently stand on it.
So Ron, is it nice being up there, standing?
It's very nice to be able to stand as opposed to sitting for hours in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
It stretches the legs, particularly at the back. It's
good.
nice to be able to look people in the face.
Yes.
And being able to expand your chest fully and breathe deeply.
Good.
Because when you're sitting down,
You can't in that position,
No,
can
no.
you, so easily? But this,
it's compressed.
it's wonderful.
Very
Yes.
good.
Excellent. Thank you.
So, right, Ron, I'm just constantly going to ask you if you're okay. It's going to be really annoying, but it's important that you want to make sure that the consciousness level of a client is good. And if they do pass out, it's nothing to panic about, but you need to sit down in the chair quickly. Sometimes you're aware that you're going to do it. Sometimes it's fuzzy sensations in the eye or the head, or ringing sounds in the ear. So if you know that's the signs you get, will you let me know?
Yes.
Thank you. The other thing is that you never remove the chair from behind the client, because if they need to sit down, the last thing you want to do is be trying to get the chair into the correct position. Right, we're going to get you to sit down in the chair again now, Ronald. So remove the foot switch. Ensure that the back strap has been fully removed to prevent it becoming entangled, and then place the back pad onto the table in front. You ask the client, if he can, to put his elbows to the back of the elbow pad. And if you need to support that arm, then you could get hold of it and put your hand there, because you're going to try and encourage them to lean back slightly so that they don't hit their chin on the chest pad as they go down. Right, we're going down, so let the client know, going down, and you do it. It's a slow, smooth movement. If you see the hip swinging over, just encourage it with your hand at the back. Okay. The client will be further forward in the chair than when they normally are. So you'll have needed to put your slide sheet in, or whatever mechanism you need to use to get the client back. It needs to be in there prior to bringing the client down. To remove the sling, you unhook. If they can help in any way, it's really important that they do as much as they can themselves. To remove the sling, hold on. No, it's okay. You just get hold of the back and pull it straight up. Before Ronald moves back in the chair, you need to undo the straps. Well done. So, Ronald's done it himself, but if your client needs help, it's best to do it while they're still within the frame, so you know that if they slip for any reason, they're not going to go onto the floor, they will go into the frame. Are you comfortable there, Ronald? Okay, we're going to come back and then give you your feet back again. So we'll put the feet on the back of the foot plate, and then if you reverse out, Ronald, I can watch your toes. Ooh.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Okay.
I had to turn the speed up to get the chair to move. And it moved too quickly.
Okay. Right. Do you need to move further back? Yeah. Now, it's really important to check Ronald's position in the seat. Right, we need to move this hip back. This one's further forward. That's it. Okay, brilliant, thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Should you find that when you come to use the standing frame, the lift arms will not raise, then check first of all that the emergency stop button has not accidentally been pressed in. Okay, if it has, just give it a small clockwise turn and it will come out. If it still doesn't work, then just check that this particular connector has not inadvertently been pulled out somehow and put in the wrong place. You'll see on the connector there's a lug on the connector and there's a slot that lug must fit into. Touch it, make sure it's in properly, and then it should work. Okay. In the unlikely event, very unlikely event, that when the person is standing, when you come to lower the lift arms, you press on this switch here, it does not go down, nothing happens, then again just check that connector, check the emergency button. If both of those things are correct, then there is here an emergency window just underneath the red button. A biro will fit in there. You press that in and the lift arms go down. You leave go, they stop. All that does is bypass the foot switch. Of course, if somebody's at the front here having to do that, then you'll need somebody else to help you guide the client down. If that doesn't work, then there is a manual pull-off switch here. You pull this out and the client's weight lowers him down in a controlled fashion. Again, you would need somebody else with him to guide him back down. So you just pull that out. When you pull it out, the client is lowered. If you let it go in, he stops. So you've got full control. The battery is charged off the standing frame with a charger. You can see when the battery charger is plugged in, you've got a current going through it, the on light is on. To charge the battery, you just place it like so, make sure it's on properly, listen for the click, and you'll see then that when it's charging, the charge light comes on as well. It's a trickle charge, you cannot overcharge the battery, so you can leave it on overnight to charge. We would suggest that if the standing frame is being used 3 times a week, 5 times a week, then either put it on charge all the time it's not being used, or just charge it overnight once a week. Just get into the habit of doing it that way to make sure that the battery has always got sufficient charge. When putting the battery onto the standing frame, just make sure that you put the connectors in the right place and that the spring locator is behind the lugs, like so, and then make sure it clicks.
I can assure you that no animals or clients were injured or hurt in the making of this DVD. Thank you.